Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of The Articulate Fly, and we're back with another Western North Carolina fly fishing report with the Nantahala Sasquatch himself, Gordon Vanderpool. How's it going, Gordon?
I am hanging in there, brother. No complaints on this end.
Well, there you go. I know you've been getting a little bit of rain, but we're recording this on the 24th of June, and we're getting ready to march into the dog days of summer. What are you seeing in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, I feel that weather pattern's changing. It's heating back up again, and it looks like the forecast coming up is kind of on the warm side with that, and the rain chances actually go down a little bit. So here the last few days, we're getting these pop-up storms here and there. It's not enough to completely kill you everywhere. Just kind of depends on what watersheds you're on. But the fishing's, still hanging in there. Water flows are still good. Little yellow sallies everywhere. Freaking giant stones, man. One of the best hatches of giant stones was coming back from the Nantahala a couple days ago. And just as soon as it turned dark, they were everywhere. I was splattering them with my truck. It's unbelievable how many, and they were huge. Like the biggest golden stones we have, they were like a solid inch and a quarter, almost inch and a half long. They were massive.
Wow.
And I'm talking by the hundreds and hundreds of them. So that leads me to this, to tell people, we've talked about it before, but now is the time. If you're not necessarily worried about numbers, but you want a shot at a big fish, now is the time. When those big golden stones start moving and they hatch after dark, because it's mostly an after dark thing. But just know that right before dark, those stone flies underneath, they start getting active and they start moving around. So that's a good time to jump in those big, deep pockets and stuff you don't see. Just run a freaking big single stone, like a size 10, size 8 even, and a big old Pat's rubber leg, and hang on. It's good time to move a good one.
Yeah, because that's interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, go ahead. No, that's all I was going to say about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, because, folks, stoneflies, most stoneflies emerge by actually crawling out of the water. So they're either crawling to the bank or they're crawling up rocks that are in the middle of the river. So it's a good time to fish the nymph, like Gordon says. On top, what do you like to target them with on the hatch?
Anything yellow right now. Yeah, if wherever you're going, the fish are looking up. So yellow stimulators, plus the sulfurs are still going. I mean, I'm still seeing sulfurs on most all watersheds I'm on. So right before dark, the sulfurs are moving a little bit more than they are throughout the day. So those are yellow. Those are like a size 14 to be safe. And there's also like a size 16 sulfur. There's two different ones, and I'm not, a bug expert to know the names of both. I forget, but there's two sizes. The blue wings obviously are still cranking. But for the stones, yellow stimulator, size 8 to 14, that'll cover the little sallies and the golden stones, and yellow is money right now.
Well, that's awesome. And on the nymph front, is the water getting low and clear enough now that you're starting to have to downsize your tippet?
Yeah, I'm pretty much a 6-7X guy all the time, anytime, anyway. Unless the water's really dirty and I don't necessarily have to worry about fast sink rate. Then I'll throw as big as I can get away with, whatever that is. So yeah, for the most part, the guys that don't always scale down and they're usually fishing 5 and, real big heavy tippet, now it's time to start scaling down, get your bugs a little bit smaller, single nymph those pockets if you're not doing it already. You got to get good drifts. They've seen it all right now. The big bugs, you still got some big bugs moving, but once these guys disappear, you got random hatches of big bugs, bigger mayflies. And other than that, everything starts getting on the small side around here. So going to have to change up the game a little bit.
Yeah, start looking for terrestrials too, I imagine.
Absolutely. Little green inchworms right now are everywhere. We're seeing these little green, they're not inchworms, but they're like about a little over an inch long. Shame on me for not knowing. I don't know the technical term of what they are called, but I guess like a little silkworm, but they are feeding hard on the underside of the maple tree leaves right now. Like we were finding them on a little wild trout stream several days ago by the dozens underneath these maple tree leaves. And like, no joke, as soon as you would throw them in the river, trout were on them. Like they are keyed in on those things. So don't be afraid to tie like little green weenies, but mix up the color a little bit to imitate those worms. Black ants, always good. I like tungsten black ants, sunken, and then black ants on the surface. So it's definitely time for that stuff.
Well, that's awesome. And, folks, if you have a question for Gordon, if you'll send it to us on the Articulate Fly Facebook page, and if we use your question, you'll get some Articulate Fly swag. And I think Gordon's doing flies at the end of the season. Isn't that right, Gordon, for a lucky winner of our drawing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, we'll have some flies ready when that time comes.
Well, that's awesome. And, of course, a fishing report with you is not a fishing report with you if we don't get a most valuable medal. What have you got for us?
We collaborated a little bit on this one because I had, kind of like a mental brain fart. But this is throwing it back a ways, like years. This is like hair metal, but skidrow, 18 in life. It's a good one. Good one.
Awesome. Well, I'll drop the YouTube video in the show notes, folks, like I always do. And before we go, Gordon, why don't you let folks, yeah, absolutely. And Gordon, why don't you let folks know where to find you so they can book you and fish with you this season?
Absolutely. Flyfishingwnc.com. Phone number's on there. You can email me. Whatever's your best method to reach out, do it, and I will get back to you right away and be happy to get you on the water.
Well, that's awesome. And also, you've been posting some fly tying videos, haven't you?
Yeah, and I've been kind of lazy about it lately, but I have purchased a new camera, so I'm back in the game. I have a couple videos stockpiled, so there is more to come, and there is some other stuff in the pipeline. Me and Josh Miller are up to no good, so keep your eyes open. We got something good in the works, people.
And what's the address for your YouTube channel? I'll put it. Question. I'll bail you out. I'll put it in the show notes, but I will ask you next time.
Yeah, it's definitely under my name. Just look up Gordon Vanderpool, Returning Sons Fly Fishing. That'll get you there. But it's a shame I don't know what the address is.
Yeah,
what the web address is.
I'll drop it in the show notes, and I'll ask you next time.
Thanks, brother.
All good. Well, listen, folks.
Yeah, right. I got
it. As we head into the 4th of July holiday season, get out there and try to catch some trout before we run out of time. Tight lines, everybody. Thanks, Gordon. Tight lines, buddy.
Thanks.